Exercise 19 and exercise 20 look a little bit confusing and maybe a little bit challenging, but it's actually something that you're already used to doing. So for exercise 19, what you're going to need to do first is you'll need to combine the like terms. So on the left side, we do have some like terms here, this 9x and the 4x. Because they're both x's, then you can combine them. 9x's minus 4x's, well, that's going to leave you with 5x's. And then that's going to simplify the left side to 5x plus 4, just like we used to do when we were doing chapter 3 and simplifying expressions. You can simplify down that expression. And then on the right side, well, 36 minus 12, those are both whole numbers, they're integers. So we can simplify that as well, and it turns that problem into a two-step inequality. Now we have 5x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 24. Looks a lot similar to all the type of questions we've been doing, and so it's a lot easier to comprehend now. We're just going to treat this as a two-step inequality, and then you'll graph your solution. Exercise 20 is the same kind of exercise. So in exercise 20, we've got two like terms on the left side. We've got 3d's minus 7d's, and that can be simplified down. And then same thing on the right side. We've got 5 8/10 minus 27. Recognize that 5 8/10 is smaller than the 27 we're going to take away from it, so that probably means it's going to shoot us into the negative values. So 5 8/10, and we're subtracting 27 is going to shoot us into the negative values. So just make sure that you are doing that part properly. And so if we simplified number 20 down, we would get negative 4d plus 2 8/10 is less than 5 8/10 minus 27. Well, I can turn that into 5 8/10 plus negative 27. Different signs. I'm going to subtract the numbers. And make sure that you are lining up your decimals. So this is, I'm going to line up my ones place with my ones place. That 5 is in the ones place, and the 7 and 27 is in the ones place. And then I'm going to add the 8/10 to the 5, and I'll add a 0 onto the 27 in order to have the decimals line up. Borrow from that 7, turns it into 21 and 2/10, bigger numbers of negative, so it's negative 21 and 2/10. And then after that, it becomes just a two-step inequality, just like in exercise 19. Once you simplify it down, it looks something very familiar. Looking at the number line over here, I can see that I'm going to end up getting a whole number because there's no parts to this. There's no 6.5, 7.5, or so on. So it means that my answer needs to be a whole number for my solution. So that is just kind of a hint how you can use the questions themselves to kind of reason through the problems. So if you get something like, 3 and 35 hundredths, then you probably did something wrong.